our guy Mario Sacco next to, who's somewhere he's sunning himself in the mountains by a lake. I don't know. Where the hell are you right now? What's going on?
I'm back in the newsroom, Brian. It's a Friday. Come on. The Crunch play tonight.
That changed dramatically from my expectations of this morning. Okay, well, there we are. The Crunch do play tonight.
What was your favorite Flintstones character? Because mine was Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, Bam Bam was always Bam. What? Barney always seemed to have some stuff going on. Yeah. I mean, Fred's the easy answer.
Solid movie that they made into it. Yeah. I like the Flintstones movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch the cartoon back in the day. Fred's the easy answer. Fred's probably the right answer, I guess, for the question.
Yeah, Fred's the right answer, of course.
Yeah.
Wilma's up there, though.
Yeah, that's a great show. That's maybe the maybe just any like the brontosauruses serving the ribs. I don't know. The whole thing was good.
Yeah. The whole working in the stone quarry.
Yeah, we're just in they are a modern Stone Age family. That and the Jetsons. That's a great little cartoon block from back in the day. All right, what do you got here from the last week? I mean, it feels like this football news cycle around Fran and this team, it will not stop. It is nuts here with recruiting years into the future and portal and people excited about the spring game. What do you make about just the volume of conversation about Syracuse football here in late April right now?
Like, I know it happened in the past and like guys signed 2 years in advance, but you're not hearing about like the depth that they are bringing in. Like, they already have 16, 17 kids out of the class of 2025.
Up to 18 now. Up to 18 this afternoon.
Yeah. This kid from Canada that signed is the 18th one.
Yep.
So you can't help but be excited. Like, yeah, we don't know what these kids are going to pan out, and some of them might flip by the time, a 2026 recruit, might get offered by someone else. Miami, Florida State might come calling. But at that time, if Fran can build this team into a winner, these kids are going to want to come here and play. And he's getting them early, and he's showing why that he was the number one recruiter in the country. Well, he was at Georgia, and it seems like those ties have come here to Syracuse, and everything is pointing in the right direction as far as last week's spring game was concerned. It was good to see McCord throw the ball a little bit. The Willis kid, it has a lot of hype around him after LeQuint maybe is gone. Maybe he's that next guy in line for Syracuse. So all positives on the Fran Brown front, and you can never get enough of. As you said, 24 hours can't pass, and Syracuse is signing another guy, it seems, since he got step foot here on campus.
Yeah, whether it be the portal or getting verbals for this year or next year. We were talking about this kid, Antoine Delorier, the Canadian linebacker who verbal this afternoon, and I was reading his offer sheet. I mean, Auburn, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami's on there. I'm glossing over teams like NC State and Carolina, but Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas A&M. Like, whether he stays with Syracuse or not, because you never not all of these guys will remain part of the class. That's just the way it is in big time recruiting. But the fact that if even for a day you beat out that list of schools for anybody. It's remarkable. We've never had conversations like this before.
No, and we're not looking at that kid that played at, Kent State to come here anymore. And Dino had guys transfer from, all you got to do is look at the quarterback and Garrett transferring from Mississippi State here. But I feel like in the past it was, that's kind of where we were looking at. And now we're landing 6'8", ginormous human beings from the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
Coming here and playing. So that's positive. Like, what more could you want? Like, we're competing now with, as you mentioned, Florida State, Texas A&M for recruits compared to years past.
Yeah, it's wild. And who knows what it'll actually look like. I know we saw the spring game.
And I know Colorado isn't the University of Colorado before I get a text message saying I know that they are CU, right?
Yes.
Not U of C.
The U does go after the C there.
Yes.
Apologies to the fine folks in Boulder.
I'm sorry, Bob Seth.
But it's a wild week. It's a wild week, and it's one of these things. It's weird. Like, usually, all right, we'll put away football thoughts for a while. We haven't been able to put away football thoughts now for.
And you're not going to with the transfer portal opening back up with guys after spring ball. Like, this could go on for another month.
Yeah, I was texting with Mike McAllister earlier today because I literally texted him, hey man.
He hasn't been busy or anything.
No,
I feel like he's written an article every 3 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think he sleeps anymore. But I'm like, hey, do you have any idea how many scholarships they have available left? Because it's impossible to count anymore with guys in and guys out in Portal. I'm like, I think they're around 85. He's like, he said it's actually on his to-do list. He thinks they probably have a couple available. But yeah, if I know how Fran Brown operates, there's some guys to the portal that we have not been talking about, and by the end of next week, 1 or 2 more will be coming to Syracuse, and the depth will improve yet again because that's just the way it's going right now.
Yeah, and one of the ones the most recent one, the wide receiver from Rochester.
Yeah,
I remember watching highlights of him in high school. Like that team was very, very good. He played with the running back that went to Oregon at East High, I do believe. And yeah, they were like a video game back in the day.
Yeah, you get 2 guys like that in the high school team. I think you're going to do all right.
Steve McGee, is that the guy I'm thinking of? The running back from Rochester went out to Oregon and then he transferred again.
You could have said literally any 2 words there, Mario, and I would have agreed with you. And yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, Jones, Smith. Yeah, I don't know.
I was positive it's McGee, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to believe you because you are definitely more likely to know the answer to that question than I am. But we got Mario Sacco with us, and on the other side of things here, it's been an active week here in the portal for Syracuse basketball.
Yeah.
Jaquan Carlos in, William Patterson is out, and we're still waiting on Dakota LaFew. What are your feelings overall right now, and what Red's accomplished in the last few weeks?
I like the pieces that he's putting together, and everyone is, I'm maybe sleeping. Like Kyle Cuff could be the point guard next year. Maybe they move JJ back to point guard. Chance slides over to the 2. Like, obviously Adrian knows what he's doing. Like everyone questioned of, what's going to happen when Judah leaves? What are we going to do? Well, like, speaking to Judah this week, he told me that I was in conversations with him throughout the year. Red knew what was going to happen, so I'm sure that he was looking, a couple of months back, what am I going to do at the point guard position? And, if LaFew doesn't come here, I'm sure he has options as to what he wants to do, and I wouldn't be surprised if LaFew lands here at Syracuse. If it's taking this long, like he went on all the visits and it's still kind of taking this long, I would think maybe he's leaning back toward one of the earlier visits that he had, but what do I know? I'm not a 19, 20-year-old kid. I guess LaFew is 21 because he's going to be a senior, so yeah.
Yeah, it's we're not used to people actually taking time to make these decisions anymore. It feels like some of them get made in the better part of an afternoon, and how dare a guy think it over?
The wild portal news to me is Kadari going back into the portal. Like that is. Like, I was just talking with Eric Columbia, and I was like, could you imagine if he went to Duke and then they come here and it's him and Malik here against SU? How weird that's going to be.
Oh, Duke does need Duke is in the market for a veteran point guard. That would be something. It sounds like St. John's is trying to toss the bag at him as well. It's wild out there. It is wild out there for the guys like this that have a chance to, maybe cash in one last time here in college as we go forward. I just did kind of like a thought exercise last segment, Mario. I was trying to figure out, all right, say LaFew comes here. I was trying to figure out, all right, how many minutes a game are these guys going to get? And I went through it the first time, and I came up with 230 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's too many. we need to cut 30 off this. I'm looking at it like a guy like Jaquan Carlos. Like if LaFew comes here, he might only be coming here for 15 minutes a game. And it's really interesting that Red has been able clearly to get a guy like him or a guy like Jair Davis or maybe LaFew to buy into this idea of, all right, you're not going to be the star, but you're still going to have an important role here.
Yeah, and he preached the same thing to Kyle Cuff last year. I would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're recruited by Kansas, and now you're going to come here, and you're going to sit behind JJ and Judah. I'm sure he was honest with him, but this is now an opportunity for this kid to play in the ACC. From playing in the CAA to the ACC is a whole nother ball of wax. If it is 15 minutes, maybe that's what he's looking for, to make that jump and get his name out there. But as we mentioned, there's so many moving pieces until like next October. As far as, will Chance be fully healthy again?
Mm-hmm.
Can we finally see him on the floor? We know what Chris Bell is capable of. Can he make another jump? The pieces are there around it, like that has to excite you a little bit as to what Syracuse has. And as you mentioned, I think he's got 2 with Patterson leaving now. That's 2 scholarships or 3 that he has left.
It's LeFew plus 2, I guess, would be the math. So
okay.
There's 3 total, 2 if LeFew ends up signing.
So I'm guessing you're looking at another big man, maybe, and another guard. Maybe would be your to fill that out, so to say.
Yeah, it may be tricky to actually fill it out. The problem is that you'd like to have a third big with Patterson gone. I don't know who you're going to find that.
What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're going to sit. Like, there's no 2 ways around it.
Yeah, you'll have minutes only if something goes terribly wrong. You want to come hang out. So yeah,
maybe you try and get a freshman that hasn't, a younger kid that hasn't committed yet. I don't know, and try and turn it into a project. But we know how that works these days. Like, that was supposed to be Patterson,
right?
And now he's into the portal.
Yeah.
So.
We hardly knew you. We never actually saw you play basketball, and we'll see where you land going forward. You did mention Crunch playoffs starting tonight. What are you making of this Crunch Amherst series coming up here?
Yeah, it's deja vu all over again. These 2 meeting in the Calder Cup playoffs. Second straight year that they're meeting. Rochester last year became the 12th team in AHL history to ever come back from being down 2-0 in a series. The way the Crunch ended the season didn't kind of excite me going into the playoffs. They've lost 5 out of their last 6, but I think 4 out of those were in a shootout. And the Crunch, literally Alex Barry-Belay told me on Wednesday, he's like, we don't have to worry about shootouts because we're not good at them in the playoffs. So the thing that is positive in this series, the Crunch have shown that, going to Rochester, that they can win there this year. They've won 5 out of the 6 meetings there in Rochester. And I'd like to say the first game matters. But if you look at the history of the Crunch, they're like 15-13 in game 1s and like 9-7 or something like that in the series, like taking the series if they win game 1. So you'd like to start off on the right foot, but, I want to see a fast start by this team and not get behind. Because the talent's there. They got pieces. Like Alex Barry-Belay is one of the best players in the league. But on the other side, Levy's a good goalie, and Yuri Kalik can put the puck in the net with the best of them for Rochester.
And the fun part of the AHL is tonight. It's April 26th. This game 1. If this goes the distance, game 5, the series is going to end on May 10th. Yeah. It's wild.
And everyone's like, why is that? It's, as you mentioned, the AHL series, because there's 5 teams that make the AHL playoffs out of the North Division. So right now, 4 and 5 are playing each other in a best of 3 to play the 1 seed in Cleveland. So that's why the Crunches series is spread out over, it seems like, a month and a half.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened last year when they just it took a very, very long time to play a 5-game series.
The only positive is that is if Tampa Wake would lose, and maybe hopefully Max Crozier would be sent back down, and a couple of other guys. I think there's 3 guys up there right now. Lilleberg, I think, is up there as well in Tampa. So,
all right, a little mid-series and reinforcements. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that with the Lightning. All right, let's get into the 6-pack here.
It's time for Mario to make you money.
Your money? You know what else? You're a big winner.
Or maybe not.
And it's gone. Money!
Here's the Sacco 6-pack.
All right, 4-2 last week, so you got a little something going on right now.
Told you I felt good about those picks last week.
You were right.
Let's keep it going. We got some more Stanley Cup playoff action tonight in the late one. You're looking for that late night heater. The Kings somehow won in overtime the other night. Give me Edmonton at the Kings tonight on the money line, like minus 140. You're not getting great value there, but I still like Edmonton. At LA, tomorrow the Lightning have continuously burned me. They got to get 1 win in this series. They are at home tomorrow against Florida, and they are a home underdog. Normally that screams take the other team. I'm going to take the Lightning, though, plus 105. Then we're going to go some NBA action, NBA playoffs on Saturday. Give me Boston at Miami, Boston -9. And give me Orlando at home against Cleveland -2 in that one. Then Sunday, the Knicks are at Philly. Give me the Knicks on the money line, +165 I'm seeing. So there's your NBA action. And one baseball game tonight, Mets-Cards. Give me the over on the run line, 7.5 of the Mets-Cards tonight.
All right, there we go. The six-pack. We got a couple in the NHL, 3 in the NBA, and a little baseball
I
tonight.
stayed away from college lacrosse because I have not been doing well on that. So.
No, that is you were 4-1 last week if you toss out the lax. So yeah, the lax.
I think I've lost the last 4 lacrosse games that I picked.
Yeah, it is killing your profitability here over the last month or so.
Dang, Ivy League and Big Ten lacrosse has been really kicking me.
And the cross that you bear at this time of year. All right, man. Have a good weekend.
Black.
Yep.
Let's go SU women. They're on here in 10 minutes.
Yes, I have set the TV properly, I believe. So let's. I'm going to turn the TV on now. Yes,
Carmela Cordes is up on screen as we speak right now on ACC Network.
Oh. What is she doing on ACC Network? There's a question in itself. She didn't.
It's a picture of her, Caitlin Clark, and a women's soccer player.
Okay, the 2 of the 3 people you just mentioned. I got to change the channel real quick. Who's on?
I don't know who the other one is. I'm sorry.
It's a soccer player. Probably went to North Carolina. That's my only good guess. All the soccer players go to North Carolina. Because that's 2/3 of the people on the screen there did not currently play in the ACC. So there we are.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna go crunch.
All right. There we go. Mario to the crunch tonight. Check him out.